Greetings, everyone. Happy to be here on our second day of our event, the Politics of UFO Disclosure. Really happy to be back here with you. I think we had a really positive day yesterday, frankly. And I just want to thank everybody again for making this event happen. We're talking about our team known as Pursuing X, as Michael and Lori. They're all in the back. They're making it all happen. There's Tracy, who's upstairs listening to me right now. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without Tracy. Thank you, my wife. You're amazing. Our volunteers, who I just want them to know how much we appreciate what they are doing behind the scenes in the chat room. We're talking about Vinny Adams of Disclosure Team, Jason Guillemette of UAP Studies Podcast, Andy McGrillen of That UFO Podcast, Jess Rogue from Escape the Simulation, and Linda Thompson, our websites, the RD members, premier investigative researcher who goes far beyond our website to do her work. So that's been a great team. They're all behind the scenes in the chat room as I speak here. I want to thank them. And I also really have to thank, of course, the special guests from yesterday, Steve Bassett and Chris Lehto, who I think both were just great, provided great content to this topic. Chris was not feeling great a little bit yesterday. I think I chatted with him this morning. He's feeling much better. And I think he's very much looking forward to doing his VIP session with those of you who signed up for that, as well as is Steve. So we have that to look forward to, and I have no doubt that that will be wonderful. Tracy and I did a VIP session last night. For many of you, it was wonderful, as to be expected. We always go over the allotted time. I can't help myself. You start getting into good questions, and I just, run the mouth, as my mother always used to say. Can't help it. We had a wonderful time, and I want everyone to know that we appreciated their presence there. So, and now we have another day of this. So I'm about to do my lecture at the bottom of this hour, but I'm just here right now to just give a quick greeting and to remind us all why this matters, or at least why I think an event like this matters. First of all, we're at a tipping point in history. I really believe that that's the case. It's so easy for folks to get into hyperbole when they talk about whatever moment in history they're at. We're not the first people to think that we're at the most important moment in human history. It's been, people have felt this way before. And maybe at that time in history, maybe they were right. But I do think that we're right now to think that we are at a major turning point in our history. I really believe so. I'm going to get into this in a little while, but 150, almost 200 years ago, there was a series of revolutions in Europe in the year 1848, and went from Western Europe all the way up to the edges of Eastern Europe. There were revolutions in almost every country. They ended up, most of them, not really succeeding. And one historian later said it was the turning point at which Europe fell to turn. And I think about that in relationship to our moment now, where we are at. Are we at a turning point, and will we succeed or fail in this moment? It's like a fork in the road. So I'm going to get into more of that in about 25 minutes, but I just want to put that thought in your mind just to think about. We're looking at major changes, revolutionary changes in our society, in our civilization, and as I've been saying for a few years, really fundamentally in our species. This is all happening. I'm not going to get into too much of this today when I start talking about the fourth stage of humanity, something that I'm quite convinced is real, something that I think we are fast moving into. Think of transhumanism with, 5G technology, surveillance, super strong AI, genetic engineering, transhuman, all of that. That's what we're moving into. So it's a very rapid transformation of our species that we are looking at a time when we are dealing with a global presence of a non-human intelligence that's here for a reason. at a time when also the power structure of our society has, well, for our entire lifetimes, been utterly dishonest about what we're dealing with. And so that we've been severely handicapped in our understanding of what is going on because we haven't been able to have an honest conversation publicly about it. So all of this is happening, and we're seeing that structure show serious signs of cracks and breakage. And so the question that I will be asking very shortly is, how far can that go? Can there be a significant break in the near future, like this coming year? Is it possible? Short answer, yes, I think it is possible. Will it happen? Well, we're going to get into that. So that's an important issue. That's one reason that I wanted to do this. But then you could say, well, why not just do this on some standard YouTube thing? Why do you have to have some big event like this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of which is to just, there's something special about generating a special energy around an issue. And that's not to be taken lightly. We want to treat this seriously. But ultimately, I can't do all of the things that I want to do on YouTube. There's a lot that I can get into, but when I start getting into critiques of the most fundamental structure of power in our society, it doesn't always work the way I want. I've had issues with YouTube in the past, and my attitude is we want to find fresh ways to remain in touch and to communicate with each other. And, for an event like this, we have people in the chat room facilitating conversations. You are, I'm going to just take a wild guess, far more engaged in chatting here than even if this were some standard YouTube thing. So there's a different feel. We're creating something, in other words, that's different, that's unique, and I think a little bit more powerful, something that hopefully will resonate. So that's one reason. What we're doing essentially is we are exploring new ways of communicating with each other. And I think it's worthwhile. So this is an important topic. It deserves an important venue. And that is what we're going to continue doing today. So that's about all that I'm going to say right now by way of introduction. I will be back at the bottom of this hour on time. I mean, I could start now, but it wouldn't be fair because there are people who, we've got the schedule to maintain. After my talk, I will not go past my allotted time today because at 3 p.m. Eastern begins Chris Lehto's VIP session, and I certainly do not intend to overlap with that. So some of you have signed up for that, and you should be able to jump in on his session. And then at 5 p.m. Eastern, there will be the final VIP session with Steve Bassett. So both of those have a 50-seat limit. I think that there's some seats that are available for both of them. But if you want to participate in those, I suggest get on top of that. Both of those guys are just wonderful. Stephen is someone I've known for the longest time. Chris, much shorter, but both of them, I have tremendous respect for both of them. And Steve is a really good kind of sounding board for me. We've kind of been like this for each other for the longest time. And in my presentation, which I will deliver in about 20 minutes, I will be bouncing off of some of the things that he said yesterday and giving my own take on why I may have a little bit of a different perspective on some of these matters. So that's it. I'm going to take my leave of you. I'm not going to disconnect. I did that by accident at one point yesterday. That was a bad idea. I'm just going to go offline. Camera and audio are going to go off, but I will be back here in about 20 minutes. So thank you, everyone, for being here. I think we've got a great community going here, great environment. Everything's wonderful. And I couldn't be happier with how smoothly this has gone. So I'll be back very shortly. Bye for now.